Greetings, everyone, and welcome to this broadcast of the Gold Tier of Slipstream Racing, as this is Season 7, round number 4, that will be taking place around Austria, or also known as the Red Bull Ring, and this will also be a one-shot qualifying session, followed by a sprint race that I believe is 12 laps, and then the 50% race, which will be 36 laps. My name is Kema, and I'd like to thank you for tuning into this broadcast. If you would so like to, you may subscribe to this channel, as I will be providing the commentary and broadcast for the gold tier of Slipstream Racing for the remainder of the season, which after tonight is going to be 4 races following this. And then if you would like to, you may also like the video as well. Not too important, as yeah, all you'll find on this channel is the broadcasts for Slipstream Racing. So, or for Slipstream Racing, the gold tier for this season. So, as it is right now, we're just waiting for the rest of the drivers to get into the lobby. So as we wait, I will actually do a bit of a rundown of last week's results, which the race took place at Bahrain. So for that race, we had Trent H, who finished in first place, followed by Mr. Alan Toast, as both of them were battling with each other throughout the final laps of that race, and it was actually on the last lap that Trent H was able to take the lead and then follow that up with the win, as it was almost basically a race right to the finish line. In third place was Meowsler K, followed by Colin Edwards, who finished in fourth. Land Sharkey, who finished in fifth place. We had William of the Alfa Romeo team finishing in sixth. Despy, who finished in seventh. Tarzan, who finished in eighth. Jazz, who finished in ninth. And then Doug Hughes, who finished in 10th. And then because I do know that some of the places did change around. Okay, so it was Doug Hughes who actually finished in ninth place after he got a penalty removed, and then Jazz finished in 10th. Vrildox finished in 11th. Korea Senpei finishing in 12th. Twisted Jack 13th. PPR Mike 14th. And then finally in 15th was Goodwill of the Red Bull Racing team. And then as far as the season standings, has it been updated? Yes, it has. Okay, good. So as it is right now, it is Meowsler K of the Alfa Romeo team, who is currently leading the Drivers' Championship with 61 points. Trent H is in second with 48 points. Corrido in third, William, SSR William in third with 45 points. Land Sharkey in fourth with 34 points. Timmy P5 in fifth, ironically, with 24 points. Colin Edwards in sixth with 24 points. And then we have Cody Lawrence, who is a reserve, in seventh with 22 points. Despy of the Aston Martin team in eighth place with 22 points. Mr. Alan Toast, who's a reserve, in ninth with 21 points. And then rounding out the top 10 is Tarzan of the AlphaTauri team with 21 points as well. And it does look like we are getting ourselves underway, which one thing I did not check is to see if the audio is actually working. So I will check that very quickly, and then I'll be back in 1 second. All right, so the audio is good, and we are heading into this one-shot qualifying session. So we will see who will be able to clutch up for this one-shot qualifying session. And I know myself when it comes to one-shot qualifying sessions, I am just not a fan of it, in all honesty. There is a lot of added pressure. To me, when it comes to qualifying sessions, just a short qualifying session in and of itself, that to me is a ton of pressure to perform under one lap. And you get what, 3 and or maybe 4 attempts to be able to get a good lap under your belt. Whereas in a session like this, in a one-shot qualifying session, you have one. So this is going to be quite interesting. So as we are counting down for this one-shot qualifying session, as I'll try and get the settings underway. So we are now riding on board with Trent H of the Williams team as he's making his way through turn 2, not really a turn, but turn 2, and now coming through the hairpin of turn 3. As a lot of these drivers are powering their way out as it is now. Heading down to turn 4, this downhill right-hander, which is somewhat tricky where you can easily lock up going through that turn. Now followed by this relatively quick left-hander, followed by another left-hander, and we'll see as it's just a couple more turns left for the circuit. We will see who is able to get to the line first, and it does look like it is Miasler K of the Alfa Romeo team setting a 1:04.475 to take pole position, followed by his teammate SSR William, who sets a 1:04.535 to put himself in second place. So I'll go down the starting order for this 12-lap sprint race that will be taking place around Austria. So there you see in first place it is Miasler K setting a 1:04.475 to put himself on pole position, followed by SSR William, his teammate, setting a 1:04.535 to put himself in second. RK Lawrence, who is reserving for the Aston Martin team, setting a 1:04.603. In third, we have Despy in fourth place, Race Chase in fifth, Trent H in sixth, Korea in seventh, PPR Mike in eighth, Cash in ninth, Goodwill 10th, Brildox in 11th, Hartlieb in 12th, Big Bruiser in 13th, Jazz in 14th, Doug Hughes in 15th, and Timmy in 16th. And Jazz, Doug Hughes, and Timmy did not set qualifying times, which could be, I guess, invalidations. So it does look like the host of the lobby has gotten out, so we may be doing a lobby restart. So I will just take a break from the action and then we will see what it is that is taking place. All right, welcome back, everyone. As we have done a lobby restart, as the one-shot quality session started a bit too quickly, as someone did ready up, and there was rainy conditions forecasted for later in the race, so it would not have been fair as to have people not be able to put a proper setup that would factor in the rain that would be taking place. So we are restarting the lobby and restarting the entire session, including the one-shot qualifying session. So we will be running through that coming up in just a second once again. So it does look like we are starting this one-shot qualifying session. So I will get the settings. So heading up through turns 2, and then now heading up to turn 3 are the drivers. As we will see how these drivers fare as it is DRS wide open as they head down to this downhill right-hander, which once again, as I said in the previous one-shot qualifying session, quite easy to lock up going through that turn. So now as the drivers head through the final couple of turns, we will see who is able to take pole position, and it is RK Lawrence who sets a 103.954 to take pole position. We have William in second, setting a 104.365, and I do believe I saw Miasler K rounding out the top 3 for this one-shot qualifying session. So I will run through the starting order of this sprint race. Is RK Lawrence pole position, William in seconds, Miasler K third, Race Chase fourth, Timmy fifth, Brildock sixth, Cash seventh, Jazz eighth, Goodwill ninth, Korea 10th, Doug Hughes 11th, Hartlieb 12th, Big Bruiser 13th, Trent 14th, Despy 15th, and PPR Mike, who will be starting in 16th place. So we are now underway for the 50% race, or sorry, for the sprint race. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. As we will see who has gotten themselves on. We are already under VSC conditions. So out in first place is the reserve of RK Lawrence, followed by SSR William and then Meow Slayer K. Timmy has made up one position from the start. Race Chase has dropped one position from the start of this race. Vrildox currently in 6th place, followed by Goodwill in 7th, has made up 2 positions. Doug Hughes has made up 3 positions. Trent has made up 5 positions, currently in 9th. Jazz currently in 10th, down 2. Korea down 1 in 11th. Mike up 4 in 12th. Big Bruiser in 13th. Hartlieb 14th. Cash 15th. And Despy in 16th place. So now riding on board with RK Lawrence, we will see when this virtual safety car period will be over, which it does look like it could be taking place soon, but this is quite a long VSC period. And actually, we'll see who is on what tire. So everyone is on the mediums, barring Timmy, Brildox, and Jazz, as it does look like we are under green flag conditions once again. So there you see, as we are riding on board with William of the Alfa Romeo team. Ahead of him is RK Lawrence, currently in first place. Now riding on board with Timmy, he is quite close to the back of Meow Slayer K. We'll actually see. So we'll ride on board with Thug Hughes, as it looks like he is coming up beside the Red Bull of Goodwill, making his way past to go up into 7th place. RK Lawrence setting the fastest lap, followed by Timmy setting a 109.190. Now riding on board with Trent, he is making his way past Goodwill to go up into 8th place. Ooh, as both Goodwill and Trent touch momentarily, and Trent may have to burn the battery to get back into the 1 second window of Thug Hughes ahead of him. So we'll see. Not getting DRS is Trent, so he is having to burn the battery. Goodwill does have the DRS, however is just slightly outside of the 1 second window. Now riding on board with Meow Slayer K, he is making his way up and past Timmy to go up into 3rd place. So a slightly chaotic start, especially for the bottom 4 drivers, as we have SSR Williams setting the fastest lap of the race with a 1:05.663. Korea is actually into the pits. I will see if I can get him back, because he may have disconnected. So we'll see. So as Korea is in the pits, Big Bruiser has made his way up into 11th place, and Korea is back into the session. So now riding on board with Trent H, as he is coming up to the back of his reserve teammate Thug Hughes. As we have yellow flags in Sector 2, looks like Despy is out, and we have a full safety car. So this is now going to be interesting. RK Lawrence not able to go to into the pits, but William is able to go into the pits. We'll see who is actually going to pull the trigger to make a pit stop. Doug Hughes and Trent are into the pits. Big Bruiser gets himself a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. Goodwill is into the pits himself. So this is going to be quite interesting. A lot of drivers pitting, but then there are quite a few drivers who did stay out. So some of these drivers who decided to pit, they are going to have to make some overtakes in order to be able to get back up the field and back into their respective positions that they were in before this safety car was brought out. Oh, as RK Lawrence is actually into the pits as well as Meow Slurk. So it might have been a case that they were just past the pit lane. So they were not able to make a pit stop. So both RK Lawrence and Meow Slurk putting on a set of soft tire that's going to drop both of them into fourth and let's see. Fourth and sixth, respectively. So as it is right now, it is Timby of the Haas team currently in first place. We have Race Chase of the Mercedes team in second. Brildox currently in third. RK Lawrence in fourth. William in fifth. Meowsler K in sixth. Trent in seventh. Doug Hughes in eighth. Goodwill in ninth. Jazz in 10th. Korea in 11th. PPR Mike in 12th. Hartlieb in 13th. Cash in 14th. And Big Bruiser in 15th place. So we're currently on lap 7 of 12, and if the safety car is coming in, there will be 8 racing laps remaining, but we'll see as Big Bruiser is catching up to the rest of the field. So we may actually be out for one more lap under safety car conditions. So it'll actually make it 4 racing laps when the safety car does come in. All right, so it does look like the safety car is coming back into the pits, and it is going to be Timmy of the Haas team who will lead the drivers back into racing conditions. And we will see when he will take off. Now, this safety car period is actually going to help both himself and Brill Docs, but as it looks like Timmy has taken off and got himself a relatively good start. All of these drivers who did pit under the safety car, they're going to have much fresher tires, so we'll see. And it is led by R.K. Lawrence, who we are currently on board with right now. As it does look like Cash has made a move, I believe, on Big Bruiser, or they were fighting, one of the two. So, yep, so R.K. Lawrence making his way past Brill Docs to go up into third place. We have yellow flags in Sector 3. What has happened? Big Bruiser has made a mistake. So now riding on board with Race Chase, and he has R.K. Lawrence right behind him. And what a turn that was for R.K. Lawrence. That car looked like it was on rails. Was quite impressive. And SSR William making his way past Brill Docs to go up into fourth place. Now riding on board with Meowsler K, he is making his way past Brill Docs, and looks like Trent will be making his way past as well, going up into sixth place. Doug Hughes was quite close to Brill Docs, so that may have made a bit of an error. Now riding on board with R.K. Lawrence, he is going to go slightly later on the brakes and take, maybe not take, yes, he has taken, now he's riding side by side with Timmy at the moment, and Timmy is able to reclaim that first place momentarily. However, Timmy also getting himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. So that's unfortunate for Timmy, and that's going to drop him down the field for the 50% race. It looks like Timmy has been overtaken by William as well. So now riding on board as DRS is enabled, and R.K. Lawrence has already gotten himself a 1.7 second lead out in first. So it's going to be no DRS for the second place driver of William. Now riding on board with Race Chase. DRS wide open for the Mercedes driver. He's making his way up to and alongside Timmy, and is he going to be able to take that third place? No. As Meowsler K has retired, and Trent has actually made his way past Race Chase to go up into fourth, but Trent has made a mistake and has gone into the back of Timmy. Now, I am wondering if Trent has any damage. We'll ride on board with Race Chase and see how this actually fares. Actually, we'll go down to Brill Docs as he's making his way alongside Doug Hughes and yielding going through this turn. So it's going to be DRS for the Ferrari driver. So DRS wide open for Brill Docs. Not using the battery at the moment. Still yielding. So looking to get that DRS once again is Brill Docs. DRS wide open once again. And we will see as PPR Mike gets himself a 3-second time penalty. We are now on board with Trent as he is making his way alongside and past Timmy to go up into third place. So Timmy just does not have the tires to be able to fend off the attack of Trent. We have Doug Hughes, who's down in eighth. So something must have happened with Brill Docs and Goodwill and Trent. That's now riding on board with Jazz. He's getting himself quite close to PPR Mike. However, riding on board with RK Lawrence, he is going to take the win of this sprint race around Austria. Finishing in second is William. Third is Trent. Timmy in fourth. Race chase fifth. Brildox in sixth. Make that fifth as Timmy has a 3-second time penalty, so that demotes Timmy into sixth. Goodwill seventh. Thug Hughes in eighth. Jazz in ninth. Hartley 10th. PPR Mike 11th. Korea 12th. Cash 13th. And Big Bruiser will be coming home in 14th place. So running through the finishing order for this sprint, it's RK Lawrence in first, William in second, Trent third, Race Chase fourth, Real Dogs fifth, Timmy sixth, Goodwill seventh, Doug Hughes eighth, Jazz ninth, Hartley 10th, PPR Mike 11th, Korea Senpei 12th, Cash 13th, Big Bruiser 14th, Meow K 15th, and Despy in 16th. And I believe Korea said he needed an invite, which I will try and do before this lobby switches out, which that should be good. All right, so it's just going to be a bit of a break before we go into the 50% race, so I will be back in just 1 second. So it's 5 red lights, and we are underway for this 36-lap race around Austria. And we'll see as RK Lawrence has gotten himself a good start out in first place. So the first front 3 drivers are on the hard tires, being RK Lawrence, William, and Trent H. Race Chase has opted for mediums. Brildox in 5th on the mediums as well. Goodwill in 6th on the softs, and he is actually making his way alongside and past Brildox to go up into 5th place. So Timmy currently in 7th on the hards, Jazz in 8th, and Thug Hughes in 9th on the mediums. Meowsler K in 10th on the hards. Korea in 11th on the mediums. PPR Mike in 12th on the softs. Cash in 13th on the mediums. And then the bottom 3, Despy, Hartley, and Big Bruiser, are on the softs, which Despy is actually making his way past Cash to go up into 13th. RK Lawrence has set the fastest lap of the race with a 109.898. So now riding on board with Meowsler K, he has made his way past, I believe, made his way past Thug Hughes to go up into 10th place. Now riding on board with Timmy, he has made his way past Brildox to go up into 6th place. So as it is right now, Brildox is following behind the Haas driver of Timmy. Timmy currently in 6th, Brildox in 7th place. Sorry, just have to make sure that the audio was working. So DRS is now enabled on this lap. And we'll see, does William have the DRS? Yes, he does. So he's going to be able to stay in contact with RK Lawrence ahead of him. Meowslayer K is late on the brakes and making his way past Jazz to go up into 8th place. But is he going to have DRS? He is. So we'll be able to defend against the likes of Jazz. Ooh, Jazz, that was very aggressive to the left side there. We'll stay in 9th place for the time being, now riding on board with Goodwill. Currently in 6th place. Looks like Kaj is out. And we do have a safety car, so we will see who is going to be able to make their way into the pits. Looks like, no, Mike is not, but some of these soft runners are going to benefit from this safety car. As we also have some hard runners making their way into the pits as well. So is Meowslayer K onto a set of medium tires, Thug Hughes onto the hards, Despy onto the hards as well, Hartlieb onto the hards, and Big Bruiser did not pit, currently in 15th place. So it does look like Goodwill is making his way into the pits, and he has put on a set of medium tires onto his Red Bull car. So we are currently on lap 5 of 36 under safety car conditions. And looks like Meowslayer K has made his way past Goodwill to go up into 10th as Goodwill is making his way out of the pits. So the safety car will be coming in this lap. So we are right on board with RK Lawrence and see what it is, or when it is, that he will take off to get this race back underway. So it does look like RK Lawrence is away, got himself a decent jump on William behind him. So we are now back under racing conditions, and yeah, it's like quite close to the back of PPR Mike, but we'll probably stay. Ooh, kind of scared me a little bit. Oh! As Meow Slurk and Mike are out of this race. And that is going to be another safety car. As you can see there, I even called it as PPR Mike was making his way through that turn. Yassler K was not quite, but just slightly later on the brakes, and there was something about that moment that scared me slightly. And then PPR Mike was not able to get proper control of his car. He inevitably takes out Meowsler K, and that is both of their races done. So now we are going to see what happens this time around under these safety car conditions, as RK Lawrence is staying out. William is into the pits. Trent is staying out. Timmy is staying out. Race Chase is into the pits. Vril Dox is staying out. Jazz almost going into the back of Vril Dox, staying out. Korea is into the pits. Thug Hughes, Goodwill and Thug Hughes staying out, as Trent gets himself a 5-second penalty for a collision with Timmy. So I am not exactly sure what it is that is taking place, but it's a lot of issues as it is. But as it is right now, it is lap 8 of 36, and we are currently under safety car conditions. So we are currently on lap 10 of 36. As the safety car should be coming in this lap. Yes, so there is the message from race control that safety car is coming in. So we will see once again as to when RK Lawrence will take off to begin racing once again, and it does look like he has taken off. And Brildox has gotten himself a decent jump, but a bit all over the place as far as staying behind. But that is quite the jump that RK Lawrence has gotten himself. So now riding on board with Thug Hughes, currently in 5th place, sorry. Actually, we're now on board with William. He's making his way past Despy to go up into 6th place. And looks like something has happened. I'm not sure. It looked like someone just dropped down the field. Oh, as there is contact between Korea and Big Bruiser. And I am not sure if that is going to bring out no, it's not. So that is unfortunate, as I just caught the tail end. I did not necessarily see what it was that took place, but Korea and Big Bruiser going into each other. Now, everybody that is racing right now will be scoring points as long as they do get classified, so it does make sense to continue no matter what it is that takes place. Now riding on board with Thug Hughes, has to be careful to not make contact with Goodwill, and they do give each other the room, but here comes William. Will he be able to take a pair of them? He does! And there's a bit of contact made between Goodwill and Thug Hughes. Now on board with, Goodwill. So Race Chase has also made his way past to go up into 6th place. Has calmed down slightly. Now on board with Race Chase. No DRS enabled as it is right now, but Race Chase making his way past Thug Hughes to go up into 5th place. So I do believe that was Trent that made his way past Despy to go up into 8th place. And now, looks like Trent, who is on 4-lap fresher tires than Goodwill. Both of them being on medium tires, as DRS is enabled on this lap. Trent was making his way up to the back of Goodwill, however, not getting particularly good exits coming through both of those turns, as Trent has made a mistake! And has to be careful with the rejoin, although there is no one close to him. So that is unfortunate for Trent. So now riding on board with Jazz of the Alpine team, currently in 4th place, as we have yellow flags in Sector 3. I believe that is Big Bruiser. So, RK Lawrence, who is out in 1st place, as Big Bruiser is into the pits. Ooh, as RK Lawrence has gone slightly wide through that final turn. Now riding on board with SSR William, he is right on the back of Brildox. Brildox is actually doing a pretty good job. Ooh, as contact has been made between Jazz and William. As numerous drivers going off of the circuit. I'm not sure what has happened there. As looks like Race Chase, something has happened with himself. And does he have any damage? Yes, missing his right end plate. So there is a lot going on as Korea has set the fastest lap of the race with a 107.090. We'll actually go on board with Trent. He is making his way past Race Chase to go up into 9th place. Race Chase more than likely gonna have to make a pit stop after he is now missing, I believe it's the right end plate on that front wing. So SSR William made his way past that yellow flag in sector 2 and 3. I'm not sure what that is about. So Thug Hughes is into the pits. Is it? We'll see. As Thug Hughes has retired from the session. So Race Chase is into the pits. He has gotten himself a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well. And Race Chase has retired as well. So there are only 10 runners remaining in this race. And once again, if all of them do get classified, they will be scoring points in this race. So now riding on board with Trent of the Williams team, and he is trying to make his way up to the back of Jazz in front of him, and with 8-lap fresher tires, both of them being on the same compound of tires, this is going to be a relatively easy move for Trent. Has a bit of a slide for Jazz coming through that final turn. It is DRS not wide open for Trent as he had it open and then closed the DRS. Hartley has made his way past Despy to go up into... Oh, as Despy almost going into the back. And yes, he did make contact with Hartley, I believe. So not a particularly clean race taking place at the moment. That is going to drop Hartley down into 8th place. So Despy gets himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. Brildox is into the pits to get rid of his 15-lap-old mediums. As another slide for Jazz coming through that final turn. So it doesn't look like Trent is going to make his way past. I'm not exactly sure what this plan is by Trent. It's quite interesting that he is continuously closing his DRS and not making his way past. But it does look like it is DRS. Yep, open for it. Trent now making his way past Jazz to go up into 5th place. So we'll ride on board with RK Lawrence, has a 5.5 second lead ahead of William, who is just behind him. Behind William is Goodwill, followed by Despy, then Trent, then Jazz, who we are currently riding on board with. And that makes sense now. Jazz on and there you go, a 3-second time penalty for Jazz coming through the final turn. He is on 17-lap-old medium, so it does make sense as to why we are seeing these slides. And once again, seeing another slide coming through turn 1. So it actually might be a case that Trent may be trying to nurse his tires to the end of this race. That may be what he is trying to do, which that may be able to buy him another couple of positions. We'll see what will take place and see if Trent is able to make it to the end on these medium tires. However, we are now riding on board with Docs. He has a fresh set, or 1 lap old set of hards onto his car, as that is Big Bruiser making his way off of the racing line, as I believe he is 1 lap down at the moment. So currently riding on board with Docs, and it's going to be DRS wide open for the Ferrari driver, and he's going to make his way alongside and past Hartley to go up into 7th place. We'll see if Hartley will be able to fight this back. DRS wide open for the McLaren driver. However, not using any batteries, so is going to be looking to, but does not get a particularly good exit coming through turn 3. However, it is DRS for the McLaren driver and will keep himself swatted in 8th place. It's a quite interesting helmet. Looks like a German themed helmet, so that's pretty cool. So now riding on board with Trent of the Williams team, he is now, or has now made his way up to the back of Despy. And I do believe that it is a case of tire management for Trent H. DRS wide open for the Williams driver. If he is able to nurse these tires, it will more than likely be that goodwill. It's going to be an ask though. So it's DRS wide open for the Williams of Trent once again. If he is, as Big Bruiser gets himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. It's just a question of who ahead of him is going to pit, as Despy getting a bit out of shape coming through that turn. So Trent currently just biding his time at the moment behind the Aston Martin of Despy. And we'll see if he'll use DRS to make his way past the Aston Martin driver. It does not look like it. That's DRS wide open for Trent, but not making his way past. We'll see if he will now make his way past. And yep, DRS wide open for the Williams driver, and he's making his way alongside and past the Aston Martin driver of Despy. So DRS wide open for Despy. However, it does look like Trent is pulling away ever so slightly. Now this should be at a point where both Despy and Trent's tires are pretty much equal as it is. So even with Trent trying to potentially nurse these tires to the end of the race, it is going to be interesting to see if he is going to make another pit stop. Now, he is currently closing up to the back of Goodwill, as Jazz is now into the pits to take off his 20-lap-old medium tires. Now, this is interesting. You have the likes of Docs and Jazz, who are going to be on fresher tires. It's going to be a question of will they catch up to Trent and Despy. So that's something I need to keep in mind for the remainder of this race. We are currently on lap 22 of 36 after these drivers go by the start-finish line. It's going to be 14 laps remaining, and RK Lawrence is already at the start-finish line. And he has actually not made a pit stop as yet. So we have yellow flags in sector 3. I believe that is Big Bruiser letting, not sure who that would be. Might be Korea through. He would be currently under blue flag conditions. Goodwill is into the pits. So now riding on board with Jazz, he is making his way up to the back of Korea. So making his way alongside and not past Korea. But it's going to be, as the yellow flag sector 2, that would be Big Bruiser being blue flagged once again. So Goodwill is into the pits. He was ahead of Trent coming into the pits. So will Goodwill be able to catch up to the likes of Trent on very fresh, soft tires? Riding on board with Jazz, he has made his way past Korea to go up into 7th place. We have yellow flags. And who is that? Hartlieb has made a mistake. Now, someone like Korea, I'm assuming he is going to have to pit once again. I don't believe that Sauce will be able to make it another 12 laps. Or if he does make it, or if they do make it another 12 laps, they will be absolutely crying at the end of this stint. So it's going to be interesting to see what Korea does decide to do. So Hartlieb gets himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. Goodwill, currently on a fresh set of soft tires, has approximately 12 laps to catch up to Vril Dox. Hartlieb is into the pits. And then you also have RK Lawrence, who still has not pitted. So it's going to be softs for the Aston Martin driver when he does decide to pit. The question then is, will William pit? As it stands, the biggest threat to RK Lawrence winning this race at the moment is the Alfa Romeo of William. That's it. Next season, William needs to be driving in a Williams, so I do not mess that up. But yes, the biggest threat to RK Lawrence is William. Yep, there it is. Korea is into the pits to get rid of those soft tires. So let us see, as RK Lawrence is still pushing onward. If SSR William is able to stay on these tires and nurse them to the end of the race, as there you see Trent is actually coming into the pits. So it's going to be a fresh set of sauce for Trent. I don't know. This is going to be somewhat interesting. I would like to see where all of these drivers are going to finish. Here's Vril Dox. Yeah, so Vril Dox has made his way past Trent. Now, will Goodwill? No. So Trent has actually pulled off a quite spectacular overcut on Goodwill. So coming out in 5th is Trent. So now what is going to take place? Trent is going to have to really push. He needs to try and get to the back of Vril Dox, get some DRS to help his run toward the end of this race, albeit it's probably going to be 1 and or 2 shots of DRS for Trent H. And then it's just a matter of, will William have to pit again? Because let's say even with William not pitting, if William pits now, he covers off Trent and basically solidifies 2nd place, but that takes the win, the potential win, away from William. If, however, William's tires are absolutely ailing. Trent H is going to have used the benefit of these softs to catch up to William. I don't know if Trent will be able to make up this amount of a deficit. It is what, 28, 40, yeah, 40, no, 28 seconds. And then with a pit stop, you know what? So it's approximately, yes, 28 seconds to Despy. William is into the pits. Yep, so it does look like William is pitting. So he has decided that the win is not going to be on the cards for himself today. So it's going to come out just behind. I'm not sure which McLaren that is. So it is Hartlieb. So going to come out just behind Hartlieb and Big Bruiser and just in front of Despy, as William has set the fastest lap of the race with a 106. 4.63, and I would assume that RK Lawrence will try his best to get the fastest lap of the race at the end. A lot of sliding around going on for RK Lawrence. Not exactly sure what the plan is for the Aston Martin reserve, however, he is going quite long into this race. Now riding on, going quite long into this race on those hard tires. So now riding on board with Trent. Now making his way alongside, and is Phil Dox fighting this? He is not. So Trent also quite low on the battery, but has made his way past Phil Dox to go up into into fourth place. Phil Dox currently in fifth and has the DRS on the back of Trent. And Trent is really pushing to try and make it up to the back of Despy. Can Despy go to the end of the race on these tires? We'll ride on board with the Aston Martin driver. Hartley gets himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. So getting out of the way is Big Bruiser. So Trent has cleared Vril Dox. So there will be no DRS that will help Vril Dox stay with Trent. Williams sets a fast lap of the race with a 105.604. So we're now riding on board with Jazz. Oh wow, so Trent has caught up to Despy. So, has a bit of a lockup going through this turn 3. However, it's going to be a DRS wide open for the Williams driver. However, Despy seems to be fighting this. So, looks like there's going to be a slight fight between these two to the end of the race. But Trent has much better tires as it is right now. Makes his way past to go up into third place. So we are on lap 31 of 36. Where is RK Lawrence? So it's actually doing quite a good job. Only 81 thousandths slower than the fastest lap that he has set. So consistent laps being punched in by RK Lawrence. We will now go on board with the Alpine driver of Jazz. DRS wide open for the Alpine driver. He's coming up to the back of Goodwill. Has to be careful not to go into the back of Goodwill. DRS once again for the Alpine driver. However, it does look like he's going to stay slotted in that 7th place position for the time being. Now heading through turn 3. We will see. That's a bit of an oversteer moment for Goodwill. We will see if Jazz... Yep, now deploying the battery. As a almost contact made between Goodwill and Jazz. However, Jazz makes his way up into sixth place as Goodwill is relegated into seventh. So DRS wide open for the Red Bull driver of Goodwill. This is going to keep him in contact with Jazz and allow him to be able to fight for these final few laps with Jazz to potentially, actually, as it is right now, Jazz does have a time penalty to his name. So it does look like Goodwill is going to take that sixth place no matter what. We'll actually go through the penalties. So yeah, just a bunch of 3-second penalties, and then Hartlieb with six seconds worth of penalties. So this might actually promote Viril Dox into fourth place, which he does have much fresher tires than Despy. I don't know if Despy is going to be able to make it to the end of the race. We will see. But as long as Viril Dox is within 3 seconds of Despy, it is going to be P4 for Viril Dox. So we'll go on board with RK Lawrence. And the Aston Martin driver still not pitting. I don't believe... Yeah, RK Lawrence, he has not pit as yet, so it might just be going till the end, as PPR Mike has left the session. So I'm assuming that RK Lawrence is going to pit at the end of this lap and then just go for the fastest lap of the race. Hartlieb gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. As yellow flags, who was that? Looks like Hartlieb has made a mistake. So I have to assume that RK Lawrence's tires are near the 70% wear mark. So into the pits comes RK Lawrence. Oh, jeez. Even having trouble stopping the car coming into the pits, as these hard tires are absolutely done. However, it is going to be one basically outlap on these soft tires, and then he is going to go for the fastest lap on the final lap of this race. So it does seem like everything is pretty much set and settled for this race as far as finishing positions. I do believe as long as Viril Dox stays where he is as far as timing to Despy ahead of him, he will be jumping to fourth, and then Goodwill, as long as he stays within 3 seconds of Jazz, will be finishing in 6th place. So currently on lap 35 of 36. And as RK Lawrence crosses the start-finish line, he will be starting the final lap of this race, and then we will ride on board for the final victory lap for RK Lawrence and see if he is able to set the fastest lap of the race. And actually might get DRS to help him as he goes up toward turn 3. So we'll see what he does. However, no DRS, so might not have been within the 1 second window. So it is a purple sector 1 for R.K. Lawrence using the battery, does the reserve Aston Martin driver. Yep, and it's definitely, without, as long as there are no more errors made, it is definitely going to be a fastest lap on this final lap for R.K. Lawrence. And there you have it, R.K. Lawrence winning the race and setting the fastest lap with a 1:04.778. Well done by the Aston Martin reserve. Finishing in second is William of the the Alfa Romeo team. Trent H finishing in third place. Despy on 32 lap old. And he may actually finish. Will he be able to get this fourth place? Burning the battery. Will Vril-Dox? Vril-Dox is not going to get him. Oh my goodness. Despy is able to hang on to that fourth place position on 32 lap old hard tires. And yes, you know, I don't even have to say anything. The game knows what to do in this case. He deserves the driver of the day. I don't know how he pulled that off. And was still able to stay 3 seconds ahead of Vril-Dox to get that fourth place position, well deserving of the driver of the day. So we'll run through the finishing order for this race. Oh no, so it actually just shows the... there we go. So this is the final results for the race. So it is R.K. Lawrence finishing in first, William finishing in second, Trent H finishing in third, Despy finishing in fourth, started in 16th, deserves the driver of the day without a doubt. Vril-Dox finishing in fifth, Jazz in sixth, Goodwill seventh, Korea Senpei in eighth, Hartlieb in ninth, Big Bruiser in 10th, also gets classified, so scoring points does Big Bruiser. Race Chase finishes 11th, Doug Hughes in 12th, Timmy 13th, Miasler K 14th, PPR Mike 15th, and Cash Gaming finishing in 16th place. So a bit of I will definitely say that this was a messy race, as there were lots of incidents, a lot of contact that I saw throughout this race, and yeah, a few safety cars that took place as well. But that is going to do it for this round number 4. So next week is a break week. So for week 5, so for race week 5, that will be taking place April 27th, and that will be around Canada. So we'll be back to short qualifying session and then a 50% race for Canada on April 27th for the gold tier. And then this upcoming Tuesday is the platinum race that will be taking place around Austria. Same format as tonight, with the one-shot quali followed by the sprint race and then the 50% race following that. So that is going to do it for this broadcast of Slipstream Racing, the gold tier season 7, as this was round number 4. My name is Kema, and I'd like to thank you for tuning into this broadcast. As I said at the beginning of the broadcast, you can subscribe to the channel. I will be providing the broadcasts for Slipstream Racing's gold tier for the remainder of the season. And then if you would like to, not necessarily needed, you can like the video as well. For myself, Kema, I'd like to say thanks for tuning into this broadcast, and as always, take care.